Auf den nächsten Vortragenden freue ich mich ganz besonders, denn ich habe heute sowas wie ein Meeting meiner persönlichen Freunde und weiß auch deswegen, dass ganz tolle Beiträge da heute noch auf uns warten. Und als nächsten habe ich jemanden, der an einem sehr angenehmen Ort wohnt, zumindest für Jugendliche, nämlich in Amsterdam. Und er fährt dort seit vielen Jahren das Radio Patrin, hat aber eine viel längere Geschichte. Er ist Dolmetscher für Romanes auf EU-Ebene. Ich würde sagen, einer der wenigen wirklich guten, kennt sich super aus mit der Sprache, kennt sich super aus mit der Roma-Kultur und nebenbei ist er auch noch ein Charmeur und Frauenverfolger. Ich präsentiere Orhan Galjus bitte zu mir aufs Podium Radio Patrin Amsterdam. Ich freue mich.
You prefer this one or you prefer this free one? You prefer this one, okay.
Hi, by the way.
Well, Gilda said many things about me, but I don't know very well my culture, and still I don't know very well my Romani language. When I say my Romani language is the language that I have been developing for so many years, but I'm coming out of this culture, and I'm coming from Romanistan. I'm the one of the first citizen of the country called Romanistan, because Romanistan does not exist just now and before yesterday, but Romanistan exists from the time we entered the doors of the Balkans especially. And for me it's really a pleasure to come here, because that headline, whoever had idea about it, made me so shaky, made me to be happy, and made me to think twice about issues, because today in this generation of Europe we are facing some questions that have answer, but look like the societies, the Europe does not want to give right away answers to the questions that we are suffering from. Today I'm also happy because today I will show to you what we do. Many people in this long story about Radio Patrin ask me, what is that, Orhan, what you do? You have good broadcasting. I have here one of pioneers of our radio programs, Drag Ljubackovic, when we had dreams and so on, how our children actually would work on these radio programs and stations. So today I don't know if I can make some presentation here that people can see. So, yes, I can, thank you. Patrin was interesting word when I have got first time being in touch with that word. Patrin is just a leave, but I didn't know that it's kind of system of communication. So I was challenged by that word when I started to talk to Rajko Đurić sometime 30 years ago about what is the meaning of Patrin as a means of communication. My eyes are hurting me a little bit here. Yes.
It's better now?
Yes. So the leaf you see here is a simple leaf, but meaning of that Patrin word is kind of set, and meaning of a communication that was existing while Roma has to travel. And when I saw that this is a way to communicate among our people, so I thought, if that was the old way of communication, I got the idea to make kind of a new production in all these our activities that we can mark actually how we communicate, because Romani language is one of the 200 languages that U.S. security offices are thinking about, that this language could be dangerous for the U.S. Security. Yes, it is, because in Ashune Romalen, same time with Ackovic again, we showed the list of the dangerous languages for U.S. security issues. So I thought that I could make a modern version of that Patrin or Patrin communication. So now I will show to you one thing, because it's still about Romanistan. Maybe some of you know these people. Sometime in 1990, we had a meeting in the Mülheim an der Ruhr to organize European Roma Parliament. And this photo was on UTEL, former Yugoslavian television channel from Sarajevo, one of the famous Yugoslavian, ex-Yugoslavian journalists, who presented the photo that in Mülheim an der Ruhr was on the 5th of, sometime in November, and a meeting of the Roma who are intending to be a terrorist because they want to fight for Romanistan. Here is the mummy of Katalin Barsanyi from your right side. Agnes. And then Agnes Daroci, right? And then there is Rutko Kovczynski next to a person with the glasses. And I'm in the mid, and then two other persons. One is from Bulgaria, and Rosta Sharuf Balfarkash was. And they were asking me, why you're in the middle? You're the one who will start to do something. Yes, I want to do. But what you want to do? And a journalist asking me, thinking that I will speak a kind of vocabulary used by Al-Qaeda. So I said, yes, I want to do a bomb called Radio Patrin. So that was the idea, to have a radio program in a European level. So, of course, we were discussing that time how Europe could be challenged by the idea of Romanistan. And next, I want to show to you here why we are talking about that. Please. Good. Tahar Jaoud was a journalist who was killed because he wanted to speak out. And even if you don't speak out, you will die again. So it's better to speak, please. That's why we have to speak about those issues. We have to communicate with Europe. We have to say truly what we want. And this example for me is absolutely one of the examples that very much, almost every day, strikes me to think what I have to speak out about it, and especially when I'm doing a radio program. Here is our intro. I hope you will hear now. What is it? Yeah. It's just like that? No, this is old system. Radio Patrin.
Welkom Radio Patrin.
Akava radio samo vakerel palo GDP tai recipe romengo ta esitengo ande Holanda. Yeah.
Een radioprogramma die over gisteren, heden en morgen van Roma en Sinti bespreekt.
So that was in Dutch. Akava radio si pala cultura educația tai jantripe.
Radioprogramma over onder andere de cultuur, educatie, kunst van Roma en Sinti.
O Radio Patrin vakerel palau GDP maskaro Roma tai Sintia o Radio Patrin si vash tumenge tai savorenge. Yes. Sauringes, yeah, for everybody, for everyone. But now you will see actually who the people are working for Radio Patrin.
With small things, do good and have a great impact.
Radio Patrin is actually the voice of Sinti and Roma in Holland.
Our real mission is to kill the stereotypes.
Radio Patrin stands for the truth of information because too many lies are around of Roma and about Roma. Our listeners are Roma around of Europe, Roma and Sinti in Holland, but also non-Roma are listening to our program. Those who are, first of all, challenged by gypsy music. So this is our start every Friday when we start to make a broadcasting. Last night, sometime between 7 and 9, we had broadcasting, but happened again something very strange. Our website was heavily hacked, as it was my personal email a few weeks ago. And unfortunately, many listeners could not get Radio Patrin last night. But I informed our audience in Amsterdam and in Holland as well that they are listening via FM. The program, and I spoke about your conference here and what I'm going to present. I will end up with some informations for you. What is Radio Patrin actually? And you can listen, and I will try to make a story how we started. So actually, Radio Patrin started sometime in 1990 in Amsterdam when we have got a possibility to make a program in the so-called Salto. Salto is a network of the local radio programs in Amsterdam, meaning all the minorities that are living in Amsterdam, they are coming and making their program, radio program. The Salto is a public media organization based in Amsterdam and is look like a voice of the minorities in Amsterdam and in Holland as well. Today, Salto is a very modern media organization that has about more or less 80 radio programs per day, and of course, it's 80 different minorities. During the day, one can listen in many languages as well. And our Romani is the one that challenged actually Salto, and not only Salto, but Amsterdam as well. Before last year, we have got a third place among 80 radio programs that are very well organized and so on. After 1990s, when I left actually Kosovo and ex-Yugoslavia, having such opportunity, say, in my head that in Holland I can do really what I want, but then I saw that it's not possible to do what we had in mind. First of all, I organized a periodical called with the same name, and then later we had organized to make this radio program. And sometime in '95 we stopped radio program, and as well I was moved from Amsterdam to Slovakia, where I worked also to publish the periodical Patrin. And then later, Soros Foundation requested to come and work for that a big NGO to help Romani media to mushroom, to bring kind of quality, to bring capacity buildings and so on. Then, after my works that I've done in Central Eastern Europe, I went back to Amsterdam, and actually from 2009 we have restarted our radio program, but now in a kind of a new mode, a new form. What means that? That means that we, when I say we, it is one of my best colleagues is my brother. Not because it's my brother, happened in family that he followed his older brother to help and to work, and so we do this job. And we said that we have to show that we, Roma, called, and the other Sinti in Holland, that we have always these disputes about Romanistan, who is where, what. We include Sinto, and you saw the Sinto woman there, and another Sinto man who works with us, and they speak in Sinto language. And we broke that stereotype that is among us, that Sinto, they don't communicate, they don't want to speak. So unfortunately, for someone who believes on these things, we have made it possible that Sinto are coming and they are discussing and so on. Our program is made, first of all, in that way that we want to challenge both and Romani communities and as well non-Romani communities. We have very much in mind to take care about how much, what is the comparison with the speech and the music. We always take care that at least 50% of the speech has to be presented. And the ways how we do interviews, we don't want to inform people 2-3 weeks ago, like to make an appointment and the one has an interview in Radio Patrin. We want to look like to surprise them, to not to so much to work on preparations of someone that has to give an interview. We are trying to get in last minute people who will little bit show their surprise, but in the same time to keep the emotions on the tune, to say things that are absolutely in the heart and in the brain. Until now, in my career, I have done about more than 1,000 hours of radio program, and at the moment I'm busy with a documentary film that has idea to visit 10 countries of Europe and speak about Jelem Jelem is our anthem, and is absolutely related to Romanistan. When I was in this summer to Oświęcim, to Auschwitz, I've visited many places that I did not know around of the concentration camp. But then when was this terrible, first of one of the camps that Roma were burnt, and as well Jewish were killed there. I went outside from that space, and there was a group of people singing something. I didn't know that this is an anthem of the Jewish people. So I started also to sing Jelem Jelem next to them, thinking that these people are absolutely singing something patriotic. So then I was stopped by a lady asking me if I'm Ashkenazi or what I am, because my nose is like in a Jewish one. I said, no, I'm Rom. And she said, oh, I know about you. And then she gave us interview. Unfortunately, I could not get that part to show to you, related to Romanistan. She said, you have to organize your state. Until you don't organize your state, until you don't organize your army, you can't do nothing. You see how Israelis, how we are dangerous so many years. It was a little bit without comment, my answer to her. But then in the end I said, but the wars always bring so many victims, and we can't justify ourselves then. She said, yes, you are right, but you have to fight. And I said to her, yeah, I am fighting. And she said, how you fight? I said, I'm fighting publicly through radio program. Well, I got the smile from the woman. I think that my story should be end now. If you have some question or something.
Yes, I have.
Yes, please.
Definitely I have. Auch hier, es gibt sicher etliche Dinge, über die man mit Orhan Galjus diskutieren kann, über die Sprache, über die Politik, über Philosophie, über das Medienmachen. Er kann all das. Ich werde mich in meinen Fragen, I will talk to you in English, you don't need the translation if you don't want to, I will make it in double. Ich werde ihn jetzt gleich fragen, zuallererst natürlich die Frage, die viele im Vorfeld bewegt hat. Ob er glaubt und wie er glaubt, dass man ein Land der Roma oder ein Romanistan oder manche nennen es böse Zigeunistan, brauchen wir sowas und wenn ja, wie kriegt man sowas hin? Orhan, A lot of people discussed in a very critical way before this conference. I met them and they came to me and said, "Oh my God, did you hear the title of the conference? It's Romanistan, it's the same. We can say Gypsystan, Tzigeunistan. And if we had the possibility to make this state, where would it be? And politically seen, do we need an army to keep this? What do you think about the Roma state, Romanistan? Do we need it?"
Well, personally, but this is very personal.
It's very personal, but it's okay.
I would like to have Romanistan, and I would like to have the passport of Romanistan just with one idea. The idea is that I was holding passport of Socialistic Federative Republic of Yugoslavia. After a few years, that passport was not valid anymore. My rights were abused. I was no citizen of no country. My country disappeared. My country physically disappeared where I was born. I could not understand and I could not answer to Dutch authorities from where I am. They did not accept me that I'm a Yugoslavian citizen. They did not accept me that I'm a Rom. I have to show to them that I'm Rom. I didn't have passport of Romanistan. And they did not accept me being a Serbian or Kosovar citizen. And today I have 3 passports. And the 4th one is of Romani Union. I call it Romanistan. In this Europe, in this world, people are used because the ideologies that are existing for centuries, and especially from 18th century, the people are used and they are educated, so they have system in their brain, their mindset, that they live in a country where they're born. So Austrians are belonging to Austria. We Roma, we belong to Romanistan, logically to speak about it. But I don't belong to Romanistan because I don't have a legal binding to Romanistan.
Last question. There's a philosophy in... zuerst Deutsch, dann in Englisch. Es gibt eben noch einmal in der Diskussion eine Spaltung. Wenn man über Romanistan spricht, gibt es die Spaltung einerseits ja, Romanistan oder nein. Und dann gibt es noch einmal die Unterkategorie der Diskussion, man könnte ja ein Romanistan entwerfen, das nicht vom Grund und Boden, also von einem bestimmten Territorium abhängig ist, ein symbolisches, das aber die gleichen Vertretungsrechte wie ein Land hätte. Orhan, there's a discussion about a symbolical Romanistan not belonging to any special place in the world. Do you think something like this can function in reality?
I don't think so, because this world, Europe especially, is not educated to have such a flexible, such open mind. Because if we would organize, if we would organize Romanistan, I believe some armies immediately will attack us. You know, as US, French, Dutch, Germans are doing with those Arab countries. And you see the war between Israelis and Arabs, 60 years, no ending. So you can imagine how Romanistan could fight or will be actually destroyed. I will be again open with you and with this audience here. Some Roma, they are speaking about this physical space. We do speak about it. I remember a friend of mine, Ruf Karsten Regenstein, a Sinti from Germany. He said, Orhan, why we don't talk about buying a land and make a village with the Roma high intellectuals and to be there and to organize some institutions there and so on. I said, but the Ruf, how to make this possible?
A Roma intellectual village.
Something like that, he said. I like that idea because I can't end the discussion with my older daughter, Aitena. Aitena said to me that I did not make possible these issues because she would love to meet her other friends that are coming from Roma intellectual families. So no answer? Look like?
Well, very, very interesting aspects, and I would have loved to take another hour with you, maybe some other people too. I
there is a
take now.
question, Malika.
Yes, I've seen it. Auf Deutsch. Habe die Diskussion sehr genossen im Rahmen des Zeitmanagements. Vielleicht jetzt nur sammeln 1 bis 2 Fragen, damit wir mit den Diskutanten bis zur Mittagspause durch sind. Die 3, die sich bereits gemeldet haben, das ist 1, 2, 3, die sollen auch ihren Platz bekommen. Gibt es ein Funkmikro oder muss ich das weitergeben für Gastfragen? Okay, geht so auf.
Seriously, not the state in the sense of an army with borders, but rather in the sense of a self-sustainable system that in the end could also be defended, but in a way the first step is how you organize your radio. And I was trying to read the project, but it went too fast. And the question would be, do you really succeed in financing the radio through means of audience support or publicity, or are you still dependent on sponsors?
Okay, that's the first question. When I understood right, the question over the financing of the radio.
Right.
Also, maybe the question to it, why not at public radio, why free radio? Why aren't you at the public station like ORF, for example, in Austria? Second question, zweite Frage war in der ersten Reihe und dann die dritte da hinten. Second question, zweite Frage bitte.
I have only a very short question about the membership of Romanistan. Can there be a member only Roms, or can also I, like a not Rom, be a member of Romanistan?
Okay. Philosophical question about. Also die Frage war, ob man auch als Nicht-Rom ein Mitglied oder ein Bürger von Romanistan sein könnte. Das war der Herr da hinten. Da hinten? Ja, genau.
Dankeschön. Also soll ich lieber auf Englisch oder?
You can choose.
I can choose. So maybe I can do it
In
both.
English,
in English
yeah.
and then wechsle ich ins
have
Deutsche and
translation.
then
We
I
have
can also
translation.
take it again in English and then
No,
kann
no,
ich
don't
wieder weiter auf
change.
Deutsch
Just stay
machen.
with one language because we have a Dolmetsch.
Achso, jetzt verwirrt er mich.
Ja.
Gut. Also dann spreche ich doch Deutsch und dann kann somebody translate it in English. Achso, es ist translated, alles klar, Entschuldigung. Ich genieße es gerade, in meiner Muttersprache sprechen zu dürfen, aber es ist ja gar nicht meine Muttersprache. Aha. Die Frage ist ja, ich wollte eigentlich mal wissen, also wir haben ja im Endeffekt diese ganze Konferenz genau darauf abgezogen, dass wir quasi dieses Gefühl von Heimatlosigkeit, was uns ja quasi immer wieder unterworfen wird oder vorgeworfen wird, dass wir das ja gar nicht wollen. Also was wir jetzt immer wieder mitkriegen von vielen Leuten ist ja, dass wir eine Sesshaftigkeit also praktizieren und 2% von denen, die scheinbar rumreisen, das sind die sowieso irgendwie mehr oder weniger geschäftstüchtig sind. Unser Wunsch oder die Idee dieses ganzen Konzepts, deswegen habe ich auch nicht wirklich aus Spaß gesagt, also wenn es ein Romanistan gibt, dann will ich mich auf jeden Fall als Bürgermeister aufstellen lassen. Aber es gibt ganz viele virtuelle Möglichkeiten, beispielsweise bei Second Life. Second Life ist was extrem gut und möglich ist. Also Facebook zum Beispiel wurde zur dritt- oder viertgrößten Religion mit keine Ahnung wie vielen Millionen. Es ist machbar. Nur das Ding ist, also wenn wir sagen, wenn Rom Mann bedeutet oder Roma Mensch, was heißt dann nicht Roma Androiden oder wie? Natürlich dürfen alle mitmachen und dieses Ding ist, wer entscheidet über Mitglied sein oder nicht und was man da für Kriterien hat und ob man da irgendwie eine Armee braucht oder nicht. Das kann man wirklich virtuell, deswegen haben wir ja gedacht, Romanistan als eine fiktive Plattform, als was Interaktives, wo sich wirklich die ganze Welt daran bereichern kann, das ist mein persönlicher Wunsch und jetzt vielleicht die Frage.
Wollte ich gerade fragen, nämlich.
Genau. Hätte es überhaupt eine Möglichkeit, dass es zum Beispiel, also ich meine, Herr Galjus macht ja die Radiosendung für Holland, oder so ähnlich versuchen wir es in Deutschland zu machen Und wenn es dann Möglichkeiten gibt, dass man die Nachrichten zusammensammelt, weil seit circa 2008 gibt es die Domain romanistan.net, dass man das als Plattform so kreiert, dass Menschen sich wirklich immer wieder drauf irgendwie updaten können, was passiert denn gerade, wer hat schon wieder geheiratet, weil das ist ein Wunsch zum Beispiel von meiner Mutter, dass sie immer wieder irgendwie verkuppeln kann.
Also auch regionalen News.
Ja, eben. Es geht eigentlich um dieses regionale Dorf, um das wir sprechen, das regionale, weil ich finde nichts von Separierung, weil sonst hat man wieder irgendwie eine Elite oder sowas, das finde ich nicht so gut. Aber das regionale Dorf, das weltweit aktiv ist.
Okay.
Danke.
Danke für diese drei sehr unterschiedlichen Fragen. Orhan, you got everything
Yes,
to
I do.
answer, so
Yes.
it's your turn.
First about the finances and sponsorship. Radio Patrin was never financed and never had a sponsor or any funds that would work as a real radio station or radio program. Why? Because in our archive we have a lot of documents requesting for the funds, and as an answer was always the sustainability and as well programming. And the core of this request from the funds or sponsors or donations were always that we have to bring something, of course, to our program. And that was first and the most big dispute, not getting funds. But today I have requested directly one of our biggest sponsor of the Romani programs is George Soros, where I worked for years there, and I asked my former colleagues to help to bring some experts on the media businesses. And an expert would come soon to Amsterdam, and we are going to draw a business plan to commercialize Radio Patrin. So this would be a first step after so many years to open the doors and have an equal opportunity to discuss which kind of Radio Patrin would be for the Roma and non-Roma as well. Radio Patrin actually, in our project, in our mind, this is also related to AMSE, is a seed to organize kind of a European or pan-European Roma radio and television program. You know very well what's happened with the Arab world thanks to the civil journalism, thanks to social media. I had a lot of brainstormings with myself, with many colleagues, Roma, non-Roma, and I'm trying now very carefully to bring those new minds on the table and to organize a media that would be absolutely serve our cause. And this is my answer to you. And the second one about the membership to Romanistan. Well, you know, I don't like sometimes, I'm a dreamer. I love to dream. And this is one of the wheels that always push me to live, to be alive. But when it's Romanistan, I'm not a dreamer because I'm living in Europe. If I would be somewhere in Asia, or if I would be in India, I might do something really radical, and I would challenge, I would possibly, with my other colleagues, buy a space, a physical space, and organize a state. And this is no secret. We want to organize. I think if I am thinking about my friends and colleagues, families that I'm related to, we want to have a state because we will have less troubles. But then membership is a really problem. Being a member, you have some obligations and responsibilities, and they are not written yet. They are not organized. Roma did not organize their own ideology. Roma did not succeed to be a partner to European states. Sometimes I proudly, but sometimes very bitterly, I'm thinking about the Kosovo Republic. You know, where the idea of the Kosovo Republic is not from yesterday now. It's recent time. 50 years or 100 years is small time. We kept our language alive 1,000 years, so 200-300 years is nothing. But the Albanians have been succeeding to organize their own state, and still they are thinking to widen a bit. We have to be open. Only with openness we can think about Romanistan.
They have also their own army.
Well, I think that our ancestors were very skillful people serving Muhammad Ghaznavid's army. So we don't have to think twice if we would or not. But the real problem is, as you say, a citizenship of Romanistan. And I don't believe this will happen in next centuries, because Europe is again recycling their history. I'm sorry for this. And third question, Amse. You are right when you speak about homelessness. I feel like that very often. When I go to Istanbul, he opened my Dutch passport. He said, Orhan, hoş geldin. And of course I'm answering in Turkish, merhaba, how are you, and so on. So he said me, where have you been? I said, you're coming home. I said, you're right. When I'm walking in London, Golders Greens, when I go to London Metropolitan University, there is a very big Jewish community. They always say to me, Shalom. And I answer, Shalom, Bachtalo. And so on. Yeah. Thank you.
How about questions or answers? Danke für den Vortrag von Orhan Galjus, Radio Patrin, Amsterdam.